Greetings, everyone. My name is Harry Kolatz Jr., and I'm the author of Carlisle, Montgomery, which was published in 2019 by Prima Books, Sydney, Australia. I'm legally bound to say it that way. And I thought that given how many of us are now attending outdoor musical events, festivities with people in a way that we haven't in the past 2 years or more, that on this day I would share a section from the novel pertaining to just that kind of circumstance. Carlisle Montgomery is a singer-songwriter. She is, in her own words, a 6'5", red-headed, pigtailed, gap and buck-toothed, 9-fingered guitar-playing freak. And she fronts the Live Wires, which is a bluegrass band with a honky-tonk problem they're not trying to fix. And here's the band is playing at Scottsfest, which in the world of the novel is set in Scottsville, Virginia. And her father, Robert Montgomery, Bobby Montgomery, is one of the co-founders of that festival. She kind of grew up and up and up and up and up in it from a youngster. She's now playing at the festival as a professional musician for the first time. So, this is from chapter 26, Fiddlesticks. It's hoping that most of this will be apparent. The lineup for the 1995 Scottsfest featured the assortment of mixed unsigned talent and rising, less expensive names. Boulder, Colorado's Leftover Salmon, the more established Donna the Buffalo, alongside Alison Krauss and Union Station, fresh off a bluegrass album with the Cox Family. Bryce Berry and the Berry Pickers, the all-girl hootenanny band. Festival darling Emma Lorraine, whom Carlisle alternated between admiring and despising because this adorable girl's big bluesy voice got her signed to Blue Raccoon Records, along with Southern Crescent, a quartet out of Baltimore, 3 of whom came out of the Berklee School of Music. The lead singer, mandolinist, guitarist Landis Monroe, he with the floppy hair and the big wide cartoon grin, caused girls to toss articles of clothing. This didn't often happen at bluegrass shows, and may have been part of his being in on the joke. Still, hanging frilly panties off the mandolin didn't please the old-timers at the traditional festivals. Scottsfest anticipated and encouraged such behavior. The fiddler, Peace Havens, also got an appreciation for other reasons, despite excelling as both a classical and bluegrass musician. Weems described Peace as curvilicious. Her tumbling blonde hair glowed as though in a beam of light. Skinny, soul-patched Charles Ross on upright bass, far less flamboyant than Weems, stood and delivered in a precise balance of tension and release that made audiences ooh and ah rather than whistle and stomp. His 29 years made him the old man of the group. Southern Crescent received nomination for debut album by the International Bluegrass Society, and Grammy chatter followed them around. The Live Wire circulated among these players, learned from them, and got annoyed by them too. The spring rains spent Saturday afternoon taunting Scottsfest by sailing massive armadas of purple clouds to the great bend of the James, then pushing the thread upriver. A gentle washing of the countryside started within a half hour of the Live Wire's scheduled appearance. They clustered in the rudimentary wings of the Bateau stage to await the entrance cue as delivered by WXGI radio personality Cliff Sharp. He started, "I'm from WXGI, home of the best music in the world, country and western." Cliff exhibited the disorder of many on-air hosts who spend hours alone in a padded room talking to themselves. He admitted having a face for radio, a squat, round-headed, bespectacled fellow whose few hairs clung to his scalp like arched flower-bed fencing. The Live Wires off stage worried about the weather while they sorted out the 40-minute set and muttered about Cliff Sharp's uninspired patter. Carlisle admired the blossoms of umbrellas. Some of the protection bore the Scottsfest logo that came emergency bought from the festival store. "They're prepared," she said, to no one in particular. "Every color precious in his sight. Purple, red, orange, the trademarks of companies and other events displayed like fold-out billboards." Weems said, Means we need to be really good if they're standing in the rain. Bruce asked if Carlisle intended to use Richmond-built ships to start. She twisted her mouth and thought, can you think of a better way? I mean, the stage is named for a boat. A type of boat, CP corrected. Okay, a kind of boat. It's a soggy day. It'll get them singing. Laura walked in small circles, tuning the fiddle. Weems suggested Carey Street Ramblenecks, and that suited Carlisle fine. A little redhead wearing a staff t-shirt, poised holding one hand to her headset. Cliff Sharp approached their introduction. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our next act here in the Bateau stage, Bruce suggested. Think we should move up Freak of Nature? It's good in the middle where it's supposed to go. You may recognize her if you've been coming to Scots Fest on a regular basis, and I know many of you all are so privileged. The crowd gave a damp but warm response. We'll need to bump this one up a little, you know. We'll leave it right where it is right now. She's been coming to Scots Fest since she was a little girl, except, well, she's never really been little. Never gets old, huh? How many times is this? My own damn fault. I came up with it. More sodden approval. The stagehand in her headset counted down five fingers. Is that really necessary? This ain't the Tonight Show. Shut up. Kid's got gumption. You're sticking up for her because she's a redhead. Freckle power. Damn straight. She's a towering presence in our music today. A smattering of knowing laughs. Well, that's still got some life in it, I reckon. Gotta say something. We ain't sold 50,000 records and we've never been on TV. I think you just turned the lyric standing there. Live Wires Part 2. Their latest, Scott's Edition, is causing a stir out there among the folks in the land, and they're going to share some of those tunes with you if you don't have it yet. I wonder if that guy's ever even played the Live Wires on his radio show. Yeah, XGI has a bluegrass afternoon right after its gospel morning Sundays. He actually likes it better, but you play what you get paid. The stagehand signaled thumbs up. Please give a warm, one-handed umbrella-holding Scots Fest welcome to... The Bateau crowd cheered the Live Wires as the stagehand motioned them past the wall into the lights and mist beyond. On Carlisle's nod, they launched into the introduction for Richmond-built ships. She urged them to chase away the clouds by singing the refrain, "It ain't a happy song, but pretend you're waving a tankard of ale. A tankard of ale always makes me feel better." The rain fell in a slant that pelted Carlisle's cheeks. She closed her eyes to concentrate. She opened them to a Candyland forest of umbrellas sprouting by the stage. Underneath them, faces basked the Live Wires in anticipation and devotion. You're here, so we're here. Nothing better than that. Carlisle imagined the old Richmond shipbuilder William Trigg checking his watch against the rush of time and the advance of his own end, realizing that Richmond-built ships sailed down the James River, out the Chesapeake Bay, through straits and estuaries and to ports of call the world over. All right then. Well, that's from chapter 26 of Carlisle, Montgomery, which is available through harrycolatz.com. I'll put the information down there. I hope that you enjoyed that little excursion into the early 90s and Scots Fest. Carlisle, Montgomery. I'm Harry Colatz Jr., and thank you very much.